Alright, so this question says if the numbers 3, a, b, and 375 in that order form a geometric sequence, what's the value of a plus b? So basically, we're just going to have to find what a and b are, and then add them up. So first, a quick review of geometric sequences. A geometric sequence is a sequence in which you multiply each term by a certain common ratio or factor to get to the next term. So for example, a geometric sequence starting at 3 with a common ratio of 2 would be, well, you start at 3 and then you multiply by 2 to get the next term, so that'd be 6. You multiply by 2 again, so the next term would be 12, and then 24, and so on and so forth, and you get the idea. 48, 96, blah, blah, blah. So how we usually represent terms in geometric sequences is we say the first term is a, right? That's our first term. Now our second term is going to be a times r, where r is our common ratio, okay? So that's the factor we're multiplying by. Then, to get to our second term, we're going to have to to get to our third term, we're going to have to take the second term and multiply that by r. So this will end up being ar times r, or ar squared. And then our fourth term, we're just going to have to multiply this by r again, giving us ar squared times r, or ar to the third. So if we call, in this case, term 1a, a is equal to 3, and we don't know our second terms or our third terms, but we do know our fourth term is 375. Well, if you notice something interesting, if you divide, because we want to figure out what our common ratio is, right? Once we figure out the common ratio, we can find any term in this sequence. So we want to get rid of this a, and if you notice, if you divide that fourth term by that first term, that's equal to ar to the third divided by a, or just r to the third. And so our fourth term divided by our first term, 375 over 3, well, that's just equal to 125. So r to the third is equal to 125. That means r has got to be equal to 5. So our common ratio is 5. So now we need to find a, our second term, and b, our third term. So if we start with 3, well, then our second term will be 3 times 5, which is 15. Our third term would be 15 times 5, which is 75. And if you were to multiply 75 by 5, you'd get 375. But we're just looking for our second plus our third term. So 15 plus 75 equals 90.